Hello and welcome to another Trades and Tutorials video. This is Jeff Bish, president of MarketGauge.com, and in this video I'm going to take you to a couple foreign countries that are looking stronger potentially than the US markets. And before I do that, I just want to make sure that if you are just catching us on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to our channel. And if you're not familiar with the area on our site where we post videos like this and more, please go to www.marketgauge.com/tutorials, and you can also follow me on Twitter at MarketGauge. Now, the reason that I'm looking into foreign countries is I'm kind of following up on my last video that I did last week that was all about following the leaders. I looked a little bit at Vietnam as being one of the leaders that shows up on Little Big View, but I'm going to take you inside one of our other member products and show you how I was able to find a couple other countries that are looking very interesting. And the reason that there now is a very interesting time to look is because if we just take a quick look at what's going on in the US, which I'm sure all of you are familiar with, but the perspective here is important. And the perspective is that the Qs, one of the strongest indexes right now, is now back over its 200-day moving average, which I just highlighted in red, but let's make it white, back over its 200-day moving average. And the other key reference point is it's the September rally high. All right, now the trend line is also important, but the perspective here is we can expect some volatility in this area, but if this continues to lead higher, there might be other areas in the world that are actually in a better situation that are good long-term swing trades. And given how the S&Ps look, if we look over here on the right, the S&Ps are bumping up into some really significant resistance here. They're not over the 200. They're not really over that September high, so they could be a drag. Again, this would be the reason I would expect that we might have a little bit of volatility or consolidation before we move higher, but it is earnings season and anything could spark this market to run in either direction. Another good reason to be looking at some foreign countries that may look stronger to diversify. So finally, IWMs, which has been the laggard, is also at a key inflection point right here, but its 200-day moving average is way up here. Its September high is way down here. So it's not going to be hard necessarily to find stuff that's stronger than it. But again, if it starts to rally, equities in general could start to turn. Now, let's be clear about one thing, and that is the markets clearly are still in a bearish mode. They're not in a bullish phase right now. There's some of them are transitioning into what we would call the recovery phase or the accumulation phase. So that they're getting a little bit healthier, but if the market rolls over, you definitely have to trade with caution, trade it as if markets are still in a downtrend. So that said, one of the ways that we are able to see what's going on in the world in a very easy way is with our ETF Country Plus product, which has an active trader component to it. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole thing here, but the idea is if you've seen any of our webinars, which are free, occasionally Mish will do a webinar on phases and how to trade phases. And so the phase is basically the condition, the big picture condition of the market. So we're not going to have anything in bullish phases, as I said, but by looking down this column, I can quickly see that there are a couple of countries that are coming into an accumulation phase. So the accumulation phase occurs when the market has sold off and now is moving back up and over the 200. So let's take a look at these charts on Italy, on Austria, and on Belgium. And I think you'll see that in a different way than I was talking about last week, these are in interesting positions if you want to play from the perspective of equity markets might actually be turning around. So here's Italy. So Italy, if we look at it again from the perspective of where is the 200, it's now well above the 200. It's attacking that September rally high. So if Italy breaks higher, consolidates, and breaks higher, it's doing so in an environment where it's pretty soon this thing could be in a bullish phase as we define it, which, as you may have just quickly seen by scanning down the phase columns, we don't have anything in a bullish phase right now. So this could be the first one to move to a bullish phase. I could draw this trend line right here as well. And from a trade point of view, while these videos don't go into all the trading rules in the same way that our active trader product would, you've got consolidation here that you could trade off of for a relatively tight stop, and you've got good targets up here. And the big picture, in my opinion, is that if markets have gotten flushed out and equity markets are going to turn and grind higher, this thing has been at 18, it's sitting at 15, you're looking at entry under 1550. That's a pretty substantial move, roughly 1550 to 18. It's not going to happen overnight, but this isn't a trade you'd watch on a day-to-day basis either. All right, so EWO. So if we look at our key reference points, you see the September rally here, we're well above it. The 200, we're above it. It's a little extended, having just rocketed from its recent low. But big picture, you got a bottom here, potential bottom here. Is that the end of the down? I don't know, but you've got a tight phase change opportunity for a trade above that line there. And here again, you're looking at entry just over 16 with a very tight stop with an easy target at 18. And should equity markets turn around and start to grind higher, this looks like it could be a pretty long-term major bottom. All right, and finally, let's take a look at EWK. All right, so again, we're pushing up over the 200. Now, this one is below its September rally and doesn't have a great consolidation to play off. So I'd be more inclined to wait and see how this one acts. Keep it on the radar. Look for some better consolidation. Ideally, see a pullback, which would demonstrate strength, and then on the next rally up, take a really good look at it. All right, but for now, that's 3 stocks, 3 ETFs, gives you foreign exposure that could be actually leading global equity markets higher, not because they're already taking out new highs like I talked about yesterday, but because they're performing much better in terms of their position within the phases. If you're not familiar with the phases, check out Mish's daily. Make sure you're registered for our free email, and Mish will keep you up to date on phases, and she'll also send you some links for more free education on them. Hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next video.